Me a little bit deep. Praise the Lord. Okay. Revelation 14. We are in a place where we're coming up on the guarantee. Somebody say guarantee.
Guarantee.
We're coming up on the guarantee of what God has for us. And then coming up on that guarantee, we shall receive, somebody say assurance.
Insurance.
No longer depending on the insurance of religion. The insurance of religion says, if I pay this, I'll get that. Everybody hear this?
Yes.
So the problem with our walk is that when you took the batteries out of here? No more. The problem with our walk is that we are 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
Yeah, I did.
Push number 4 down. 1, 2, 1. That's number. No. Push number 3 down a little bit. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Push 3 down. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. The problem with our walk is. The problem with our walk is that we feel like when we do something good, we get a reward. Somebody would say reward.
Reward.
Push one up a little bit. We feel like we get a reward, but hold that for me. So, but the problem is we don't live for rewards. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We live to know that we are, push 2 down a little bit. We live to know that we are in God's hand. Amen?
Amen.
We live to know that we are in God's whose hands?
God's hands.
Okay. God has a wrath. The problem with people on this earth is they think they need to defend God by beating up people that they don't understand what God is doing. That's what's wrong with this world. You don't know what God is doing in somebody's life, so you feel like they wrong. So you tell them what God gonna do if they don't stop, and you're the one that God gonna press to go turn into ripe grapes.
Amen.
Take outside the city and press because you're trying to mess up what's going on in the city that God needs.
Amen.
Do y'all hear this? Mind your own business.
Amen.
Because God don't need your help to handle his.
Amen.
Hello?
Amen.
Mind your own business. Because God don't need your help to handle his. If you see somebody who appears to be out in the will of God, pray and let God finish what he's doing. Hello?
Amen.
I got a question.
Talk to me.
So, Saturday, I think it was, this young lady come running out the bushes with no clothes on, saying somebody was trying to rape her. So, was we wrong for helping her?
No.
No. Hold the hell. Now,
Although she lied and said one of the guys stole from her.
back up now. Was you wrong for helping her? Say somebody raped. If your daughter ran out the bush and say somebody raping your daughter, would you help your daughter?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Huh?
That's what it was about yesterday.
But I don't need details right now because that's where we get stuck.
Amen.
We get caught up why she did it, was she right or wrong? It don't even matter. When she came out the bushes, she said she was being raped. It ain't for me to judge, it's for me to. Now, if the rapist comes out, I'm supposed to help him too.
Amen.
Now, part of helping him might be turning him in.
Amen.
Because if he's raping a woman, clearly something ain't right with him, and he knows not what he is
doing.
Understand, help don't come in making them feel better and feel good about what they have done. Help comes in, really. If they're doing something out of order, I don't condemn them. God said, render, Matthew 22 and 21 says, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God. In other words, he said, don't go to jail for me. Because he didn't say, this is where we mess up. Well, God told me to do it. He didn't say, render unto God the things that are God first. He said, render unto
Caesar, land of law.
and then render unto him.
Amen.
And if you're doing something outside the will of God, and it's breaking the law, the only one that can keep the law from coming at you for breaking this law
It's God. Amen.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Everybody with me? Okay. So let's just stop analyzing, figuring out why, and just do what I'm supposed to do. And this world will be a better place. All right, number 13, page 77. What are some of the ways this conflict is being carried on in your community? What do you think in this church is being attacked? What do you think in a lot of churches that are being attacked?
Them,
Huh?
the peace, the leaders, yeah. But God protect the leaders.
Okay, you're right. What's being attacked is the spirit of the church.
Okay.
The spirit of the church. What you say, Bishop? Jesus came and he did not adhere to their traditional religion. So they attacked his spirit. Religion is what killed Jesus. Got a whole lot of religious churches. I know what I'm saying. Because most religious churches are traditional. Women can't wear pants. She gonna preach in pants the next time she preaches. Women can't wear pants in the pulpit. You ain't supposed to be here because you ain't got no sleeves on.
Amen.
What that got to, that reminds me of the lady when O.J. Simpson was on trial. And the lady said she saw 4 men get out of a black car, walk over to Nicole Simpson's house, go in. They heard her. She said, I was walking my dog. I heard her scream. Then I saw the 4 men come out. And then when she went to tell the police discredited her because she was a bad check writer. What bad check writing got to do with what I saw and heard?
Amen.
This is what's going on in church.
But they feel that she could get paid off by she was in debt for
But
doing it.
again, beyond our understanding.
That's true.
All we need to be concerned about is, did the lady see it? Can we validate what she saw or not?
Yeah.
Did Jesus break God's law on the Sabbath? If he had, he would have sinned. And back then, without repentance, sin led to...
Yeah.
Did God kill Jesus at that point?
No.
Huh? Did God kill Jesus at all?
No.
But he allowed his death for a greater
Purpose.
Hello, somebody. Slow it down. Watch what you are cursing. Hello, somebody. All right? So, what's going on in our community, the churches? The churches that are spiritual are being attacked by religious thinking. We've had evidence of it. No names are not, again, that's when we get caught up in names instead of looking at the spirit of a thing. Always look at the spirit in which something is operating. Never was I attacked. Never was I under attack. But if you didn't look at what was really going on, sooner or later, when you're walking with religious people and you got religious people in your midst, sooner or later, God's spirit is going to go beyond their religious thinking. Y'all hear this?
Amen.
So, and this is what's going on with Revelations. This is why people are so confused with Revelation. They can deal with the rest of the Bible because they can some kind of way, I don't care what happened, they can justify, they can line up with. But in Revelation, unless you know what's good about these questions, it ain't about the beast. It ain't about the things that God said, I want you to see beyond. These questions get to the direct core of what God is trying to say in that book. There is something attacking your community. There is something attacking you. And then when the attack comes, what must the attack first do? Discredit who you are. It's got to discredit who you are. That's why I want you to be confident. I'm a man sent by God. I'm a woman sent by God. If I am a man of God, I still have the option of considering to help you or teach you what the Word told me to tell you of which I know of.
Amen.
But if I'm sent by God, who God gonna send into a situation where there's sin? Who God gonna send into a situation where there's a need? Who God gonna send into a situation where there's help? And not tell them to help or fulfill the need.
Amen.
Most people don't want to give you, they don't want to fulfill the need. Why they don't want to fulfill the need? Anybody? They're considering the cost. What's this going to cost me? Is this going to cost me my reputation? If I was concerned about my reputation, I'd have been stopped pastor.
Amen.
You want to know the truth? That's why people, stop it, Bishop. You go to teach.
Go on,
That's why people commit suicide. Because they can't handle what their reputation going to have to bear.
Amen.
They're concerned about their reputation. Instead of, I'm trying to understand, I am under attack because of who I am. And the attack is not to kill me because it can.
Amen.
Job friends, you must have did something real bad for God to do this to you. Job wife, why don't you just
Curse.
You ain't the man of God that you used to be. Why don't you just curse yourself and die? All these people knew of God, but none of them was sent by God because none of them encouraged Job. But this is good. So Job was a man of God, a man sent by God. How do we know? Because Job had to encourage himself.
Okay.
Y'all got this? Amen. All right. So if I can't encourage, stop it now. If I can't live beyond my own crisis, how can I help you with yours? If I can't encourage myself in my own crisis, how can I encourage you in yours?
Amen.
So in order for me to know for real, that what I'm saying to you is real, I got to know that God has allowed me to see me and encourage myself out of something in order to encourage somebody else beyond where they are. Person ain't never been in the church, ain't never picked up a Bible, but they gonna tell you what God said. You gonna believe him? Hello. Point exactly. You're under attack because of we're gonna make this very plain for you. The wolves in sheep clothing. You're under attack because you're believing the wolves that are in sheep clothing because they line up with religion. They line up with scripture.
Right.
But see, the beautiful thing about the letter, you can read the letter right now. It can say something to you. You can read it tomorrow. That same letter can say something else because it's led by the Spirit, not by our understanding.
Amen.
Y'all hear this?
Yeah.
Amen. Praise the Lord. Number 14. How should Christians protect themselves from the opposition of the evil forces in the world? In chapter 14, y'all notice what happened? God, we just heard. God sent out what? 3 what?
Angels.
3 what? See, you said 3 what?
Angels.
3 angels. Not 1, not 2, but 3. Why? Fail not to assemble yourself In doing so, you help yourself. And you get strength from those you assemble yourself with. Fail not to assemble yourself, because in doing so, you help yourself and you strengthen those. Because now, if I'm helping myself, I'm getting strength from the ones I assemble with. Oh, I'm going through, but I don't go to where I don't assemble myself. Y'all see this? Because even in assembling myself, guess what I find out? I ain't the only one going through. They need my presence to help them get through too. So, and then look what God did with the angels. He told the angels, listen, notice, I'm going to tell y'all something. As you read that 14, he told the angels to help him with his wrath. Those who are discouraging. He said, they right within themselves. Take them outside the city and press them. Take them outside the city. Gather them up and burn them. Help me with my wrath. In other words, how do we help God with his wrath? I need somebody to help me out here. Huh? We display confidence in God even when confidence is not displayed in us.
It's like having faith.
Huh? Faith. Absolutely. Absolutely. We display confidence in God, so no confidence is displayed in me. I'm good with that. But that's not going to make me not display confidence in who?
God.
I am a vessel of God. I'm a child of God. And even in the process of you attacking me, I'm gonna love you. How you love me? Because I'm not attacking you back. And all I get it. Get a what? No, and all thy getting, lean on your own understanding. In all thy getting, seek the understanding beyond your understanding. Get an understanding. Don't look for something you do not yet know. This is what Revelation is trying to tell you. You live in a world where God is constantly revealing you to you. We always say we learn through suffering.
Amen.
But how do we know whether or not we learn? That's the question today. We say we learn through suffering. Jesus learned in this place of suffering. How do we know, even when Jesus learned in his place of suffering? The disciples suffered when they thought Jesus was gone. You know whether or not you learn when others are suffering. It tells me whether I learn when others are suffering. I learned in my place of suffering. I have the assurance that God has brought me through this. So now my job is to give this assurance to others. So I learn in the place of suffering, and to indicate whether I learned or not is when others are suffering. Listen to the word now. Show me that in the spirit, Bishop. Oh, that's my wife. Show me that in the spirit, Bishop. Jesus suffered, am I right?
Yeah.
After Jesus died and they thought he was gone, they didn't know what to do. They said, well, I guess we'll go fishing. They were really struggling without Jesus. Oh, they had seen him 2 or 3 times at this time, but they were still struggling without Jesus, because even though they had seen him, he had not laid a purpose upon a leader. Even though they had seen him, remember when he told Mary, he said, Mary, tell them to meet me in Galilee. And they said he walked in, he just appeared, the doors didn't open, he just appeared. They saw him, he proved to him that they were alive, but he did not drop his purpose into a leader's heart. So when without the purpose I suffer, without the purpose I wonder. Amen. Many of us are wondering because we will not accept the purpose that God has placed in the leader. Have you caught anything? Because they went fishing. And watch this. When they went fishing, who did they follow to go fishing? Anybody remember that scripture?
John and
No. Peter.
Peter.
Peter said, well, I guess I'll go fishing. They said, well, we'll go with you. So at that point, whoever they had followed is the one that Jesus was going to place in their spirit the purpose. So when they went fishing, Jesus, watch this now, stands on the shore, getting ready to leave. Now we would have said, let me spank that before I get out of him.
Amen.
For what they did. But what Jesus did, he knew they were suffering without him. 3 years they followed him. 3 years they followed him. And now all of a sudden, the greatest thing you ever witnessed, the power, the deliverance, the healing, and all of a sudden, and now mind you, because they were with Jesus, they were like rock stars too. They were famous too.
Amen.
Because when they came to town, they told Philip, they said, Philip, the Greeks said, Philip, I want to meet Jesus. Because they knew he knew him. They go to Pastor, they come to me and say, Bishop, I want to meet Pastor Nisa, because they know I know her. So, Jesus, this is so good. So now, here they are suffering, wandering without a purpose. Jesus said, hey, have y'all caught anything? They said, no. You cannot catch nothing unless God has made you purpose. Even in what you know, it won't work no more. You got to understand, Peter was an expert fisherman. Peter had a business that sustained him for 3 years while he walked with Jesus. His boat was still there. He was an expert fisherman. And yet still, in his place of expertise, he could not function no more. Because there was a purpose beyond his worldly purpose, there was a divinely purpose. And notice what happened. When they came to shore, he greeted them, he fed them, and then he spoke to the leader. He called Peter to the side. He said, Peter, do you love me? It is. Now he's placing his purpose in Peter. He said, feed my lamb. Peter, do you love me? A second time. Feed my sheep. But he said, you ain't going to get it until you're hurt for what you have done. When we are not remorseful, we don't get it. There was a time I did stupid things, and there was no shame in walking in the church. There was no shame in seeing my wife. There was no shame in seeing you. Until there is a pit of guilt, a shame, a remorsefulness, you don't get it. You don't get it. Until there is a pit of shame, guilt, or remorsefulness, now you'll get it. And when you get it, God say, this shame, pit, this shame, and remorsefulness has served its purpose. It was not to linger, it was to make sure you got it. Anybody see this? So Jesus took him to the place. He asked him the first time, hey Peter, you love me? Yeah, feed my lamb, feed my sacrifice. Peter, you love me? Yes, I love you. Now feed the rest of them, feed the sheep. But then he said he asked him a third time, and Peter was what? He was grieved. He was grieved. I like that word perplexed. I wonder if he even to do something to me for what I did. Without knowing the Spirit of God, that's where we go. God ain't gonna do nothing but love you some more once you get it. And now once you get it, now you got it to be used by God. So he attached it to the leader, and Peter fed everybody else. Watch this. So Peter wouldn't have to, so we wouldn't think that Peter was going to be the source for God. Because after John the Baptist, there was no longer one man that fed. There was no longer one man that heard from God. And if God had not brought up another man, Peter's equal, without having literally walked with Jesus, but did the opposite, but persecuted Jesus, and who was this man he brought up? Paul. we would have made Peter John the Baptist. We would have made Peter Isaiah. But God said, I'm going to bring one that liked Jesus when he was here. But the one that was a greater benefit to us was the one that did not like Jesus. That's us. We Paul. He said, I'm going to use him just like I used the one who liked him. So I said all that to say this. Walk in the confidence of if God did it yesterday, he's also doing it today. We did it through them. He's doing it through me. I remember the first time I was teaching Pastor Denise how to drive, and she was getting frustrated. She was really getting frustrated. And I told her, I said, come here. I said, she was sitting on the wheel. I said, stop. I said, look around you. She said, I said, she said, what? I said, look around you. You remember this? I said, see that old lady right there? I said, see that little boy right there? I said, see that man over there? I said, now look at that old lady again. I said, she can do it. You can do it.
Excuse me.
She said she don't remember that, but that's how I taught them all because I use the same method, so I know. Yeah, and getting that ticket. Getting that ticket, police. I ain't got no license. She ain't got no license. She up there doing 95. I said, why are you doing 95? She ain't living 55. She said, no, it ain't. The sign said 95. But anyway, so the opposition that you're getting is because you have received the spirit of the leader. She gets opposition because she had received the spirit of the leader. How do you know you have received the spirit of the leader? You will support the leader even when you don't understand. You'll support the leader. And guess what now? You are a leader of the purpose God has given you. I support you even when I don't.
Understand?
Y'all see this? Amen. Number 15. In what ways are you facing conflict with evil? What kind of reinforcements do you need to withstand pressure? How can others help you to endure and answer all the questions right there? In what ways are you facing conflict with evil? Anybody?
In what way?
Talk to me, Pastor. Minister. Yes, you be talking to us. Talk to me, Minister.
I was repeating what you said. Repeat it one more time. In what ways?
In what ways are you facing conflict? Now notice something about, let's get to the core of what's going on here. John is in a very conflicted place right now. He's being what? Anybody know why he's being what? Punished by who?
God. By Satan. By himself.
By man.
By man. Okay.
Reason being, this is John. John was the only disciple that did not die an excruciating death.
He was left on the island, wasn't he?
That's where he was. So he was on this island by himself, and there was a conflict. What is the conflict? What I am doing is for God, but those who don't know God can't see what I'm doing. Those who know God are not concerned about seeing. I know if God put you on this earth and put life in you, he also gave you a purpose before he gave you life. And watch this now. And when God says, no man knows, only God knows the heart of a man. What is he saying? Only God knows the purpose of a man. Only God. So if I am of God, I don't concern myself with your details. But I do know, just like I was sent with a purpose, you were too. But I can't deal with it because I need to know why, when, and where. Jesus many times broke their law. And what really messed them up was there were no consequences sent by God for him breaking them, messing up their religious thinking. Okay, this is what they used to. Aquila and Priscilla, when they got the money, and when they got some money for selling some property, and they were supposed to turn the money in, they kept some of the money. And then when they kept some of the money, breaking the law, they died instantly. When the man was told not to take any spoils from the land, and once they took spoils from the land, Saul, y'all would say he lied, but he was about to fulfill the law. Saul said, right now we're under a curse. Whoever took the spoil, come forth, and you shall not die. And the man came forth, and instantly he killed him. The consequences of breaking the law was death. Jesus broke their laws over and over and over and over, and he did not die. They couldn't kill him. So now he was messing with their whole process of what God had set up for yesterday, because he was bringing in a new dispensation for today. And Jesus destroyed that, because you broke God's law about the Sabbath. The first time it happened, they weren't worried. They did not expect to see him the next day. So when we don't see God punishing, and we know what we done told people gonna happen, then we take it into our own way. Messed up the whole system. Jesus messed up the whole system. In other words, now, just like in the beginning, because it never had any power, now the law, they saw that the law had no power unless God gave it power. Y'all see this?
Yeah.
So Jesus had to die. But look how long he lived, breaking their laws and going against what they. And then watch this. Once Peter saw Jesus live beyond death, and he helped the man at the gates of the beautiful, and they say, "What you doing healing that man on the Sabbath?" Peter walked in and he said, "What y'all want to kill me like you killed Jesus?" "Yeah, I am." Now this is the same Peter who lied not to die with Jesus, but he was ready to die for Jesus. Y'all see this? Instituting the end of one thing and the beginning of a. Amen. All right. And it says, what kind of reinforcements do you need to withstand the pressure? This is good. When you are under attack, what is your place of reinforcement? Y'all ain't with me tonight. Help me out. I've been under attack before, and guess what? I yet live through it.
Amen.
That's where my confidence comes from. That's where my reinforcement comes from. I'm like, Lord, why all these years? Why you keep letting me go through this? Because I want you to know this can't do nothing to you. So when I send you somewhere, you won't worry.
Amen.
But look what I'm looking. He said, are you concerned about being my purpose or worried about how you're looking?
I'm burdened about being your purpose.
So when you've been through something 1,000 times and ain't nothing happened to you in a negative way, you don't believe them lies, because you know what? If God wanted me dead, I would be dead. I have given him more than enough reason to make sure that I was.
Amen.
That is your reinforcement. That what they said was going to happen to you
Did not.
And then when they say it and it don't happen, you be leery of those people.
Amen.
Because now they're wishing it.
And they jealous.
Because if they're not elevating you, they're elevating themselves. And if they're elevating themselves, you got to, whatever I said about you has got to happen. Otherwise, I look like the fake.
Amen.
Don't worry about it. What he doing in his life, he ain't gonna be no pastor long. What he doing in his life, there ain't gonna be no church long. Yeah, you right. We ain't no church. We got a detour church. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
And it's longer. And even if it don't be any longer, it was longer than you thought it was gonna be.
Amen. Amen.
Y'all see the picture?
Yes.
But you walk in the confidence because God let you walk down the ladder, down the ladder, down the ladder, down the ladder. And the most beautiful thing about it, he said, come on back up, come on back up, come on back up. Over and over again, so no matter what nobody say, he said, if I send you, you know you can go and you ain't got to worry. Is this getting in by the Spirit?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's all your suffering and your shortcomings are all to build up confidence that God is with you and ain't nothing nobody can do or you can do about it.
Amen.
Because I can tell you, I've been in places, I was whooped so bad, I said, Lord, why don't you just let me die? Getting ready to drive off a mountain in Atlanta one night. Getting ready to just drive over the mountain.
Just tell you.
And my cousin called. And she said, Maurice, too many people love you. Don't do this.
Oh.
In the nick of time.
Amen.
Tell me God ain't real.
Ain't nothing but God.
My cousin called. You had an experience like that? You had an experience like that? You dropped the book. Did that hit you? You and my cousin? You the one called me? You dropped that book like she dropped that book like I slapped her in the face or something. You had an experience like that? D, talk to me now. You had an experience like that? Oh, she gets so overwhelmed. She be so amazed by the teacher. She just be like, this man done went too far. Was that a too far moment? But you know after that you come here and tell us what it's all about. You don't say it over there, you don't say it up here. You all right? Did that help you or did that shock you or? That was funny to you? You just dropped that book. I'm like, Lord, Jesus.
Let it go, Bishop.
But God was giving you confidence. When He let you survive all the pastor, He was giving you confidence. No matter what they do, no matter what even they try to physically harm you, guess what? Your spirit is going to yet live and add to the life of others. Anyway. But God said, now this when it comes in, Paul said, now that you know all this is gonna happen and then can't nothing happen to you, do you keep on being stupid? God forbid. Hello, somebody. So now I'm walking in the confidence that, you know what? Not am I seeking the will of God. I have grown into the knowledge that I am the will of God.
Amen.
And I've been His will ever since I came into this Jesus Christ. What cannot die? God. So if I'm His will, how can I
Die.
Please. Praise the Lord.
Amen.
All right. It says, how can others help you to endure and remain faithful? How can you help somebody endure and remain faithful? Based on what we just said. Deacon Will, oh, Bishop, I'm having a tough time. You know what I would walk up and say to Deacon Will? Deacon Sherman, oh, Bishop, I'm having a tough time. You know what I would walk up and say to Deacon Sherman? Elect lady, oh, Bishop, I'm having a tough time. You know what I would walk up and say to elect lady? Brother James Moore, oh, Bishop, you just don't know what I'm going through, I'm having a tough time. You know what I say the same thing to all of them. God done brought you through worse. What you worried about? That's how we encourage somebody. Let them know you've been in a worse. Pastor, you know what? All you've been through something worse than this. You've been through something worse. Your brother, whole gang came looking for you one night. But did they kill you?
No, they didn't.
Hello? So why you worry about that look aggravated? He ain't nothing but a gnat. Yeah, he was a mosquito. You understand what I'm saying?
Amen.
The way we encourage one another is to remind them that, you know what, it has been worse and you still here.
Amen.
But it's always in the moment, it seems like that, it seems like it's just so overwhelming, bad, and if nobody will come and remind you of your worst, you think this is the worst.
Amen.
Right, D?
Yeah.
I say the same thing to everybody. Come on now, you've been through worse. You look at me and say, you know what, you right. You right. Amen.
Amen.
Drop that book no more. Okay, 8. What is the difference between physical, this is good, and spiritual protection? Wow. And how does God protect us? What is it? Talk to me, missionary.
Physical protection, you know about it and where it's coming from and how. Spiritual protection, you don't know, but you know it's there.
Spiritual protection, I see my protection.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry. Physical protection, I
okay.
see my protection.
All right.
This Glock, this knife, these hands, and sometimes these feet to run.
Amen.
Physical
Amen.
protection, I see my protection.
Amen.
Spiritual protection, I don't see it. Watch this. Nor do I
Sad. Amen.
spiritual protection. I would rather have spiritual protection than physical protection,
Amen.
because the spirit will protect me even when I don't know I need.
Protection. Amen.
What good is a gun gonna do me when I leave the gun home because I ain't got no enemies right now? But somebody just got out of jail looking for me, and I left the gun home,
I can't get that.
and they walk up to me, but I ain't got my Glock with me.
Amen.
But if I got spiritual protection, guess who know they coming?
Spirit.
Hello. So when I understand God, and how do I know I'm? Oh, this is so good. I say it every day on Wake Up with Jesus. How do I know I'm spiritually protected? Love created me, and love's gonna take care of what it created. That's how I know I'm protected. Love created me, and love is guaranteed to take care of. Even when I hated Jesus, even when I rejected God, love has no back door. Hate will act like love and then go out the back door and leave you exposed. Talk to me about it.
You can, just to piggyback, you can say physical protection, it has a conscience, where the spiritual does have no conscience. So if there's a danger in the physical sense, your consciousness will almost prepare
That's
you
even
for
better.
in like a fight or flight. You will go into what's called a flight or fight mode. You know, so your adrenaline will rise. But when you're unconscious about a danger, it has no consciousness. It's a protection already in the midst when you're not even conscious of it.
Can I help y'all out? Huh? A drunk. No, I'm going to the club. I ain't got no car. Or you might got a car. I got to drive 20 miles home. But I'm not conscious of the danger of driving, but I'll go get drunk. An addict. Knowing that every time I go into this neighborhood, I put my life in jeopardy, but I have no conscience because I feel like I'm protected. Y'all see, that was good, Pastor. And that's what God needs you to feel when he sends you into his purpose.
Amen.
Can I? Everything said, not just her, but Monday we having a thing on domestic violence. Everything says to a woman who, even a child, if they know they had permission to leave, even a child would leave if they were getting beat.
Yeah.
But a woman getting beat first says, I can't leave what I'm supposed to love. Y'all hear this? And because, watch this, because of the love, if that's the reason they're staying, watch what I'm trying to say now. It's a whole different movie if you stand for the money. It's a whole different movie if you stand because you have an agenda. But if love got you staying now, ain't nothing gonna happen to you. You might endure some things. Can y'all see? That was good, Pastor. Y'all see this? Because I'm staying because that's what God told me love is supposed to
Do. Amen.
So you think God gonna let it? Now, if you got an agenda and you trying to pimp love, you got a problem. Y'all hear me?
Just waiting for the next time.
That's a good one now. That's a good one now.
Next opportunity.
Oh, he got one more time. He got one more time. And I'm gonna kill him. Most people who said that end up getting
Killed.
talk.
Just gonna say from my experiences that, that sometimes there are times when we can't really handle love because the love is so great to where, you tend to get upset.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it.
Your love for them or their love for you?
Your
Well,
love
they're-
for them.
Their love for me.
Oh.
Like in other words, is that, in spite of what I'm doing, but they're still showing me love.
Wow.
Okay.
So if I don't intertwine or try to get a grip with them, the love that they have for me will always cause a conflict because it's within me.
Watch this, bro. When you don't, and this is good, when you are in a situation like that, that's good. Y'all hear this?
Amen.
That takes me to that place of, that's good. What did Peter feel the third time when Jesus asked him, do you love me? He felt a love he felt like he could not match. He felt a love that he felt like he could not return. You know what happens to us when we feel a love that we cannot return? We look for alternatives. And then we'll do something stupid like cheat. And then we'll say, you just love me too much. I can't take it. You run me away with all this love.
And see, the thing about it is that, especially,
Y'all hear this?
Yeah.
Especially when it's a woman of God. I mean, really. I mean, a woman of God, when God shows up, whatever, it drives them crazy. It really does. And I'm just saying this from experience because I've experienced. I didn't know what to do. Like they said, you can't beat them, join. Instead of me getting on my knees, asking God to help me.
Wow.
But yet and still, I want to, sit there and think about all the excuses. When really there is nothing. The only thing it is that the devil just put a mirage in my head and keeping me further and further and further away because I felt that I was not worthy to get on my knees and pray at that time.
Wow. Wow.
And that killed me.
Wow.
Spiritually.
Yes.
And the thing about it, man of God, this is so good, and it is directly with the study. The thing about it is, if she prayed for a man of God, she prayed for a man of God. So now, if she had enough in her to pray for a man of God, imagine the man of God that I was going to be. to handle a woman of God like that.
Amen.
Did anybody see what I just said?
Mm-hmm.
If your wife is here
Mm-hmm.
and you're not here,
Right.
you're gonna end up there because of the order. I'm gonna hit the word of God.
Yeah.
If you just hang on and accept the order of God. If your wife is already with God
Amen.
and she is here, man of God,
Mm-hmm.
if she was here, what you were afraid of was you're there. And if I don't get to my there, her here will always intimidate me.
Yes.
When God gave you a woman of God here,
Mm-hmm.
he was saying, here is your divinity. A woman sit by God. Because it had to be a woman sit by God
Sit by.
to make you even feel that way.
Yes.
Thank you, woman. Woman will sit by God. I want to stop saying that because there is a difference.
Yes.
You see it plain and plain every time we say that. So if a woman sent by God is here, God is calling me to be a man sent by God for the order.
And the thing about it is that
That's
really
good.
all God was doing was this, is that God was showing me myself in a mirror. Not to embarrass me, but to show me that I love you. It's a spiritual thing.
Right.
Just showing me that he loves me. I'm not doing this to put you down or whatever, because the thing about it is this, that if you can get any kind of grip, so that when you have me in you, so when it happens again, you're already prepared and you won't take it, it'll come and go. Because now you have submitted yourself. So now when it happens again, you don't have to react because now you're allowing me in your temple, so that way it'll hit your boom, it's here and it's gone. Back with love.
That's good, man of God. There once was a man, and God spoke to the woman, and the woman wanted to get married. And God told the woman, through a prophet, literally, the prophet came and told the woman, God told me to tell you, I'm not going to send you one of my best, but I'm going to send you one of my very, very best. There was once a woman who was told this by God.
Amen.
And when she could handle the best, but when it got to the very, very best, and this woman was in church, and the man wasn't in church, and when the man got on the level with the woman, she was good. But she forgot, I'm not just sending you one of my best. He's got to go beyond you because he's one of my very, very best. And then when he stepped into the very, very, how about the woman who called for him to come got jealous?
Yeah.
And I forgot about it. Until that woman told me, he told her that he was sending not one of his best, but one of his very, very best. So when she saw that woman that God sent his very, very best to, that she willfully divorced, she thanked the woman for releasing one of God's very, very best, so I have access to his very, very best. Y'all see this?
Amen.
You got, even though you got to know what you got. Just that what you didn't know what you had, man of God. I can even make that personal. Take that directly to you. Forget appreciating it. I can't appreciate what I don't know. You see it, D? Huh?
Yeah.
Who did you talk to today? Who did you talk? Y'all think I be up here just clowning y'all? Why I put her on the phone today? Who did you talk to today?
Overseer Felix from Kenya,
Kenya?
Africa.
Africa?
He said, do you know what time it is right here where I am? And it was about 4:30 our time. And he said it is 10:30 here where I am at night.
I get 2 or 3 of these calls from people all over the world every day.
Excuse me.
And a lot of times I be saying that y'all are vicious, you be talking. So I say, I want you to talk to somebody. Let's talk to my pastor. These people all over the world.
Amen.
Eating up this stuff. They eating up the spirit in which God has put in me. I'm nothing. I'm a monger, I'm a liar, I'm a junkie, I'm an alcoholic, I'm zero.
Amen.
I'm all those things.
Yeah.
Less a bag of chips. Do y'all see
We
this?
love you, Bishop.
But the bottom line is, not only do you love me, people all over the world are eating what you want, what you're willing to throw away or take for
Granted. Amen.
all over the world. I get calls from India, Africa, all day long. It's not me. They're seeing. Talk, Pastor.
You and I were having a conversation, Bishop and I were having a conversation today, and I said sometimes I'm just so disgusted by some Christians and their behavior. And he said it's just that they haven't met God yet. They haven't had their true experience with God.
Yeah.
And he said it's only because they react that way, just by lip service or namesake. They say they have a relationship with Christ and they know of God. They know God. But when you can turn the other cheek and still love, and when you can be battered, beaten, and bruised and still love, and when people can lie and gossip on you and you can still love, that's when you know God.
Your son broke in the house. Your son broke in the house. You know he broke in the house. And the jury found him innocent. Would you think that jury? Wait a minute, I don't want no rightful answer. I want a answer according to your understanding. They say for breaking in this occupied dwelling, because breaking in an occupied dwelling is a PBL, punishable with life. Your son going to jail for life, and this jury find your son innocent. Would you be thankful for that jury?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
So those people who are attacking you, find them innocent. Find them innocent and make their father God happy. Those people who are lying on you, find them innocent. And make your father God please him.
Amen.
You are the jury. That's why God don't want you to judge, because he said you think you have a choice to say whether they're guilty or innocent. Those who judge for God will always consider them innocent. Now you see it?
Yeah.
Now you see it? I don't talk directly to you. I'm just. Would you be thankful for that jury? If you give God's children a chance to live out their purpose, when you have the alternative not to, rather you have the alternative, you can literally murder their spirit and discourage them forever from being with God. God said, give them forgiveness where they don't expect it, and watch the reward you get from God. If that mama got money, or that daddy got money, they'll go bless everybody on that jury after they found them in. What you think God gonna do? He got more than money. He got health in his pocket. He got peace in his pocket. He got faith beyond measure in his pocket just for you. Finding his children who don't know no better because they yet not know him. And you should act like you know him by forgiving them and finding them innocent. Wow. What is the difference between physical and spiritual? How does God protect us? How does he prepare and compensate believers for physical damage? I'm going to make this real short. He give them double for their trouble. Once you learn to accept the will of God without complaining, you don't go around the mountain, you go over the mountain, you go through the mountain, and once you go through it, there's a reward that you cannot get going over or around. So in other words, what do? We never get our reward, Pastor, because we avoid. We avoid the mountain. See, if I go over the mountain, I've avoided what's in the middle of the mountain. If I go around the mountain, I've avoided what's in the middle of the mountain. But when I go through the mountain, I get what I'm supposed to get in order to handle the blessing that's on the other side of the mountain. So if I don't go through the mountain, I can never understand. I am not prepared for the blessing that's on the other. So if I avoid the mountain, the blessing avoids me. If I avoid going through the mountain, the blessing avoids me.
I'm not saying like this directly towards me or anybody, but I
a lot of times